unsafe working conditions, thinly veiled double entendre, and absolutely no clue what's going on. Now that's what I call wrestling. Hey there, sports fan. This is Now That's What I Call Wrestling. I am Kit Parsons, better known as professional wrestler Magnum CK, and we are continuing our journey through bad pro wrestling. Good bad pro wrestling, to be specific. And there's no better bad pro wrestling in the world than the WWE. But I'm not talking about the guys you're probably thinking of. I'm talking about the more famous WWE. I'm talking about Tulsa, Oklahoma's own World Wrestling Empire. It's really not that deep. It's actually, it's pretty terrible. But we enter into all of these episodes with a positive attitude, a clear heart, a full belly, can't lose. I don't think I've ever actually seen Varsity Blues. I've only seen it referenced. So I probably lost all the Varsity Blues purists who were tuning in.
But I don't want your life.
Speaking of, like, subscribe, turn on the thing. I don't know how it works. If you like the show, tell somebody. Or if you don't like the show, don't tell anybody. I'm not going to waste a lot of time here up at the top explaining all this to everyone. If this is your first episode, we are in 1994. We're wrapping up 1994 with the World Wrestling Empire, Tulsa, Oklahoma's premier bad pro wrestling organization, league, championship, tournament, group. But what I am going to do is hop right in, and I'll catch you up as we go along. So everyone, please prepare to give a reaction to the action. Probably the shortest intro I've ever done.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and give a reaction to the action of the World Wrestling Empire. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Ledge, and somewhere around here is my co-host, Devlin Blanchard.
So right off the bat, we get what we normally get, which is all of the attention and focus is put on whatever storyline, if you even want to call it a storyline, the commentators think that they're entering into. It's not my favorite thing. It's my favorite thing because it's not my favorite thing, if that makes sense. I know I'm a glutton for bad entertainment, but it doesn't really make any sense. The storylines never make any sense. They're not even storylines. It's manufactured, aside from last episode where there was some very real hatred between the commentators. It's generally manufactured conflict, right? It just feels very much like, oh, well, we're supposed to not get along, so let's just not get along for no real specific reason. It takes away from what's happening in the ring, which, granted, I guess in their defense isn't much. So maybe the commentators are just trying to fill the void of story and storyline, because there's none of that on the actual show itself from the actual performers. Whoa, performers. Oh, we're stretching the English language to the limits already. The wrestlers in the ring, the guys in the ring, the talent, the human beings in the ring, the humanoid-shaped beings in the ring who stomp when they punch and fall down, sometimes on purpose and sometimes by accident, aren't really giving us a lot to work with. Not what they're doing doesn't make any sense. It's pretty boring. It's not TV wrestling. It's just kind of like hackneyed 30-year-old, even at this point, lazy, stalling, nothing wrestling, which I know doesn't, like, if I was watching this YouTube video, I'd be like, okay, then what are we doing here? That's what we're doing here. We are relishing in whatever this is. We are rolling in the mud.
Oh, I can't believe what I'm seeing. Unreal. Unbelievable. Devlin Blanchard looks like he just got back from Burger King.
But Devlin Blanchard insists on having his own entrance. This is his first official show starting out as the heel commentator. And I'd like to say the color commentator, but we don't have like a play-by-play color dynamic. It's just, I'd like to say we're painting with many colors, right? But do you remember when you were a kid and you had to do watercolor in art class? And then by the end of it, you had your water that you dipped it in. And by the end of it, the water was just kind of like a muddy, mucky gray. because all the colors kind of coalesce together and amalgamated into this putrid liquid. That's the color that we're painting with here on the World Wrestling Empire. It's absolutely disgusting that Devlin Blanchard would walk out to the ring at a very slow pace wearing an opulent floor-length cape-type gown with his arms out, taunting the fans, basically pretending that he's better than them, to try to get heat, to try to feel grand, to try to feel pretty and witty. Devlin Blanchard's got too much going on, but like, pick a lane, pal. He's got the Howard Stern aesthetic with the Jerry Seinfeld sneakers and a Halloween cape and a Party City crown. I don't know what's going on. I think in a lot of ways, Prince Devlin Blanchard summarizes what the World Wrestling Empire is, which is a bunch of people who probably watched wrestling growing up and had all these ideas in their head and just kind of threw them up onto a dirty, wrinkly canvas. Canvas, ring, canvas, painting. It's a smart show, guys. Not the one we're watching, the one you're watching. This one. We're the smart show.
Now here we are trying to get some athletics going here, and the Burger King shows up.
We're not trying to get athletics going. There's no athletics. Less than 0% athletics happening on this show. Why do you lie, liar?
So we're going to take a short commercial break. We'll be right back after this word from our sponsors with some action for this evening. Well, this is the World Wrestling Empire.
So here's what I want to say. I am very critical of Davcom and the way they put the show together. I guess they're probably just the editor, so I probably should stop blaming Davcom, but I only have a picture of Davcom. I don't have a picture of whoever puts this awful show together. So it's Davcom's fault. This is awful TV planning, right? Nothing has happened. We have had a very long intro that is unimpressive at best, visually and orally, and probably orally. And nothing happened. We had a weird open, and then we had a commentator make an entrance to little to no reaction, and then we go to commercial. Not exactly like must-see television here, right? We've covered the fact that Annihilator looks to be at least 11 and a half years old, but Wild Child is a new one. This is I don't think this is a WWE debut, but it's a Now That's What I Call Wrestling debut. Wild Child is giving a lot here with this picture. When I was performing more regularly with Second City in Chicago, we had a headshot day where they brought in a photographer and they were telling a story about back in the day. The deal with headshots was when you get a headshot done, you should try to look at the camera like maybe you wanna like you're trying to have sex with the camera, right? Like so that kind of come hither look. And if you ever go to Second City, the training center, up on the wall, there's all these pictures of all these headshots. You can always see the people who adopted that ideology. Wild Child is gonna sex you up. Wild Child is ready to put a wild child in your belly. This isn't a crude show, but the fact of the matter is Wild Child wants to lay you down and put you down doggy style, style, upside down, 69, going like boom, and then do. That's basically what Wild Child's saying with his eyes. With one look.
Standing here at ringside with Flamin' Raymond.
So we've seen Flamin' Raymond a bunch of times at ringside. This is the first Flamin' Raymond promo we've gotten. And brothers and sisters and everybody, I'm nervous. I don't know why, but when I look at Flamin' Raymond, I feel like he's about to say something I can't put on my YouTube channel, but we'll just have to find out.
Cortez, well, I want to tell all you stupid idiots out there that Renegade will be back, and he will be back at 100% to defend that title against you, Cortez. So if you want to take it out in the street, we can do the same. You just watch out.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Renegade is apparently laid up in the hospital. According to accusations by Flamin' Raymond, it's at the hands of Shane Cortez. We'll have to explore a little bit more into this later on.
Shut up.
The sexual tension between Raymond and Ledge is absolutely palpable. It's in the air. You could cut it with a knife, slice it, and spread it on some tastefully made toast. I don't know what that promo was. There were several kabuki moments, as you noticed, and the ending again. Look, this whole series is not meant to become a here's how to and how not to do pro wrestling or do television or whatever. And I certainly wouldn't call myself an expert, but like I do have a lot of experience with this type of thing. But I say all that to say, at the very least, when you're going on television to talk like this, you need an in and you need an out. I mean, if whatever happens in the middle, okay, great. Maybe we don't need to plan all that out necessarily, but you have to have a clear start and a clear ending, or else it doesn't track. It doesn't read. It doesn't make any sense. So we have kind of a nothing start, and we have just a train wreck of an ending that ends with just this sexy pose down, this stare down at the end. That if there's one story that I'm just absolutely waiting with bated breath and a perspiring brow to find out where it goes, I want to see where this goes between Raymond and Ledge, because I'm sorry, that was some tension at the end that is undeniable. And good for them.
You've been listening to Silverado way too much here lately. I'm a little worried about you, Devlin. Tell you what, why don't you tell them about this first match here and let me get to the ring to introduce these guys.
I will do it.
I joke a lot about, hey, what's in that cup? Like when these guys are acting like maybe they're drunk. And I will share, not to bring the room down, Devlin Blanchard is apparently, according to the internet, no longer with us. But what was that? I will do it. I'm not going to advocate that kind of stuff, but I'm going to advocate for it. I say go for it. If you're working on the World Wrestling Empire and you have to sit through this dog wrestling, hey, look, do what you got to do to get through your day.
And he is seconded by a man who was formerly known as the Eliminator. Ledge, try to get it right. The man's name is now Viper.
It's a wild thing on a pro wrestling show to point out the fact, because like the thing about pro wrestling is people's names change from time to time, people's characters change from time to time, sometimes arbitrarily, and usually it's not really pointed out in stark terms. So it's a pretty wild move for Devlin to be like, hey, get it right, because he changed his name for some reason. It's Viper.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, introducing our referee for this evening, Mr. Doug McCoy. From Beaver, Kansas, a wild child.
Hey, bud, it's cool that you're from Beaver, Kansas, but maybe we don't need that. Like, maybe you just say you're from Kansas City, or like, what other cities are in Kansas? Kansas. Just say you're from Kansas. Say you're wild child. Say you're from. Say you're from parts unknown. Beaver, Kansas, and look. It's fine. No offense to the good people of Beaver Canvas. Beaver Canvas? Beaver Canvas. Beaver Canvas. Kansas. Beaver, Kansas. Forget it. You win. Beaver, Kansas it is.
Ledge, what do you know about the Wild Child?
Well, I know he's in the Empire, so obviously he must be a pretty good wrestler. I'm looking forward to some good action between these two guys this evening. Hails from Beaver, Kansas.
I've
Quite an outstanding wrestler with some other wrestling groups, has decided to take on the competition in the Empire.
Hey, real quick before the show, just go ask the guys on the show something about themselves and write it down so you can say it on TV, so that you don't have to look like these people are absolute strangers that you know nothing about. Because why would I care about Wild Child if you can't even, when one of your commentators asks you about them, you're like, yeah, well, Wild Child, he's from Beaver, Kansas, and he's a man, but he's a child. He's a child that's wild. He's a child that runs wild in Beaver, Kansas. Kansas, stop it. Do better, Kansas. I can't say you.
I've got a complaint to file right here. This man needs to go back in the back and change his tights because he's blinded me. I can't see.
And there they go, circling the ring.
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means that he's blinding you. I guess because there's an intricate pattern. All I know, if I know anything about fashion, which I don't, but if I know anything about it, it's that the more intricate the pattern, the more expensive the garment.
Shut the fuck up, dog, you fucking skunk! You shut the fuck up, Mike. I'll kill you.
But I have a theory about a lot of these wrestlers, I have a theory about a lot of these humanoid-shaped beings that stomp when they punch and fall down, sometimes on purpose and sometimes by accident. I get it. I get it eventually. It's that they have no characters, right? They have names that take the place of characters, right? So Wild Child calls himself Wild Child, but doesn't act like a wild child or like a hippie or whatever a wild child would be. The name takes the place of character. Okay, that's step one. And then the step before that is that before they pick a name, they find an outfit, whether they get it for free or they get it for, in this case, very expensive from Dan Flash's.
Yes, you do. You go in.
The outfit they can get their hands on informs their name. That's my theory about these guys, right? So this dude got some tie-dye tights and was like,
okay, I guess I'm the Wild Child.
So he found tie-dye tights and became the Wild Child. But if he'd found camouflage tights, he would have been the Army Child. If he would have found tights with like, a bunch of Bible verses on them, he could have been the Child of God. Not bad. If he would have found tights with, Taco Bell sauces on them, he could have been the Mild Child.
And there they go, circling the ring. Collar and elbow, tie up. Shut up. Both wrestlers testing each other at this point. Oh.
Devlin Blanchard with a really cool move for TV where he's just fighting with the fans and telling them to shut up on microphone during the match. Perfect. Good job, bud. I call this move, this armbar, the I'm new, I don't know what to do, because it's where you put an armbar on a guy, or a wrist lock, right? You put a wrist lock on the guy. You don't know what to do, so you crank it around one time, and then you don't know what to do, so you just widen your stance and stare at it and make a face. That's wrestling. Now that's what I call wrestling.
Very athletically inclined, but he's facing the mean freight train from down under.
I love the fact that Annihilator has like electrical tape wrapped around his fingers and his, I don't even want to say biceps. And look, I'm not trying to shame this person, but those aren't biceps. He has electrical tape wrapped around his fingers and his hawks. Is that a hawk? I don't know, like a ham hock. Like, what do you call, what part of a like a bovine animal or like a whatever would be like their chunky part of their arm? His top legs. He has electrical tape around his fingers and top legs.
Holding pain.
Oh, and there he picks him up, sets him up for the big smash and throw.
I think that Annihilator is trying to be rough with Wild Child on purpose, and I think that the body slam is the reason why I would say that, because I don't want to ruin the illusion for you, but there's a technique to all this stuff. The trick to a body slam is if you want your opponent to land flat and get that nice body slam sound, you can't really slam them. You have to kind of get them over your head and tilt them and let them fall, right? That's not only just because that's not going to hurt someone more than they need to be hurt, but also it's going to get that good clean sound. But Annihilator whips Wild Child down with some force, and he ends up landing feet first, and just looks like crap. So don't try. A tip, if you're ever going to body slam your friends, don't actually slam them. Just let them fall.
Brings the Wild Child to his feet. Big chop to the side of the Wild Child's face. I'm surprised we didn't get a warning about a closed fist at that.
I think the suplex too. I'm not exactly sure what happened with the suplex, but he just kind of like released the guy. Like he didn't care. So the whole reason, I'm just giving away, this is pro wrestling's secrets. Let me actually, I should disguise myself if I'm gonna give away all these secrets.
When you're performing a suplex, part of the reason why you grab and wrap your arm around your opponent's head is so that when you flip them over onto their back, you're protecting their head and neck to some degree. But if you just absolutely let go and release them halfway through the hold and just let them fly toward the mat, who knows what could happen. But for sure what will happen is it will look and sound awful.
Annihilator is not the excellence of execution. Annihilator is the absence of execution.
Back in on Wild Child now. Sets him up into the ropes. There's the whip. Oh, and another big leg.
No doubt Wild Child was supposed to duck that clothesline. Listen, if you're a pro wrestler out there and you're throwing a clothesline, whether they're supposed to duck or not, throw it even. Just throw it right into their chest. And if they don't duck, that's their problem. But I have a feeling that given my theory that Annihilator wasn't too happy about this match to begin with and wasn't being particularly safe with Wild Child, it's probably going to get a little worse.
You know, it looks to me like Annihilator's still on that beer and peanut butter diet that Raymond originally had him on. I guess Silverado has continued that training regimen.
Again, the beer and... This is the second time we've heard Ledge accuse Annihilator of being on a beer and peanut butter diet. And look. It sounds great.
His time about stalking into the Wild Child brings him to his feet now. Sets him up against the ropes. There's a whip. Oh, picks him up with a...
Some sort of variation on a power slam. But just drop the dude right on the top of his back, right toward the neck. Just, again, if Annihilator's doing this on purpose, then that's cold as ice. But my theory is he is not good at this. I'm sure Annihilator's good at something. I'm sure that Annihilator has some great qualities. He's probably a nice guy. He can probably, he probably holds the door for his teachers and is in 8th grade where he needs to get to in the morning. So he needs to wrap this match up.
The Wild Child, has decided to go with a little bit different strategy at this point.
That shows you that he is a newcomer to the Empire, because most people that have watched the show and most of the wrestlers that go in the ring against the Annihilator tend to go to the lower extremities.
Look, I say it. It's old, man. I know. I say it every episode, but I don't understand. We've had all of this match happen. All of this has happened. We've had all these moves happen, all these clunky, bad slams, and all this back and forth. I don't understand how we stand up, circle, and lock up like it's the first thing that happened in the match again. It is, look, listen, there's a lot wrong with the World Wrestling Empire. If I could pick one thing to change about it, and I know that's toxic. That's a toxic trait. I shouldn't be trying to change. This is a relationship, and I shouldn't be trying to change anybody. But if I had a little genie, I had a little magic genie boy, and I could say, listen, I don't need 3 wishes. I have 1 wish. Is that when a match is going forward, they don't just restart it for no reason in the WWE, the World Wrestling Empire.
Be a big waste of a wish.
Annihilator's right back on him, whip into the ropes, follows it up with another big clothesline. Wild Child taking a beating at this point at the hands of the big man.
And Wild Child did the real jerk move in wrestling, unless it's like for a specific reason, where he kicks out like right after the 3 count, which is like, you won, but like you probably, it was too close. Like you probably maybe didn't win. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, Annihilator should have just had a clean finish here against Wild Child, but no one's in charge of these guys. There's no plan. I would have to assume that there's nobody backstage telling people what to do for their finishes or whatever. But Annihilator is a former champion. He's entering into the semifinals of the school spelling bee tomorrow, and he doesn't need that kind of disrespect going into this. You're just getting in his head now.
From Flagstaff, Arizona, Eric Awesome!
You people stand up and show this man the respect he deserves. Eric Awesome is here to make a reputation for himself in the World Wrestling Empire.
I would say in my first 5 years of professional wrestling, from like, 04, 05 till about 2009, 10. I would say within that time, if I had to quantify the number of guys who looked almost exactly like Eric Awesome that I had to pretend to lose to. I would say, I can't put a number on it, but let's just say 500. My only complaint about Eric Awesome, aside from just the fact that he exists, is that his name should be Awesome Eric. That's just stronger. Eric Awesome. No one's last name's Awesome, but Awesome Eric, dude. Yes. You guys know Eric? Oh, Awesome Eric? Yeah. If I had that genie, second wish. Awesome Eric. I guess that could backfire though. Like it could be sarcastic. It's like, awesome Eric. That's unlikely.
High-flying Shane Cortez!
I believe the Red said he was 6'1", 200.
I don't understand the color palette that Awesome Eric is working with here. Like I'm obviously, I'm probably too focused on outfits. It's probably my favorite part about wrestling. This is the outfits. Outfits and entrances are the best part about wrestling. I don't understand the color palette here. We have black on top, black on the bottom, and gray in the middle. I don't get it. I feel like I don't understand what's awesome about it. Like there's nothing like Shane Cortez looks like a wrestler. He's got some cool colors, got some nice boots, got some shiny pants on. But Awesome Eric, not doing it for me, man.
I appreciate your talent, sir.
Beaver, huh?
Beaver Cortez.
What are we doing with the beaver stuff tonight? I don't get it. I get it, but like, what's that for? Where are we going with that? Is the beaver going to pay off? We can't look. This is Chekhov's beaver. You can't introduce a beaver in Act 1 and not have it go off in Act 3.
Oh, and Eric Awesome able to reverse it.
Brilliant move by Eric Awesome. And of course, he's inviting Cortez to come back in and
I didn't even notice that From Singapore Predator is out there. From Singapore Predator is skulking in the shadows, and what he's wearing, it honestly looked like Shane Cortez just accidentally fell. But From Singapore Predator is out there. My man Shane Cortez doesn't stand a chance. They might be, I'm not trying to hyper focus on Awesome Eric's tights, but they're like bronze. Now that I get a better look, they're like bronze color. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Awesome Eric is awesome. By the end of this match, we're going to decide whether or not Awesome Eric is awesome. And it's mostly going to be based on what tint and hue his pants are. The footwork's a little off for Awesome Eric. It's a great strategy. Just bumble around and then try and move and fall on the guy for real.
Oh, and then we got Flamin' Raymond at ringside going on, yelling something about wanting Eric Awesome. I don't know.
So wait, Flamin' Raymond is at ringside now. He wasn't a part of the entrance. He just came out off camera. So he's out there now. So Shane Cortez is totally screwed. He has nobody. Awesome Eric is not only like getting a little more awesome as this goes along, just based mostly on more information I'm getting about the color of his pants. From Singapore Predators out there, that's strike 3 already. And then strike 4 is Raymond is out there with his tennis racket, telling people to shut up and calling them stupid Okies. Cortez doesn't stand a chance. He's from Oklahoma. He's one of them. He's one of the stupid Okies. The deck is stacked. Let's just say that the deck is stacked. The deck is stacked against him. The deck is stacked. Am I having a stroke?
Let me tell you something real quick about Eric Awesome. Take a breath, take a breather. I'm going to tell you about Eric Awesome. This man is a full total package of double clutching, double fine, double time, a little over here, a little over there, a little rock and roll everywhere. Got to have it every night, got to do it to you, baby. Do you know what I'm saying to your legs? That's Eric Awesome, baby.
Awesome Eric looks like he would sell you unlabeled cigarettes. Awesome Eric looks like one of those guys who would be hiding under a kiddie pool on Cops. Awesome Eric definitely looks like the defendant. Look, guys, I know that wrestling these days can sometimes feel and seem over choreographed or overly planned or whatever, but like, just talk about it. These guys got nothing. They got nothing going on. That's why they do that circle lockup thing 9 times in the whole span of the match. Just think of some stuff and talk about it before. Come up with a plan. You had all week to think about this match you were going to have, Awesome Eric. Think about something to do in it and do it during the match. If you think that inspiration is just going to strike you while you're sitting there blown up, out of breath and needing a cigarette, it's not going to happen, my guy. Plan something. Come up with a spot. Anything. Do anything, and it's better than whatever this is. This match is not good enough to be interesting and not bad enough to be funny, which is like Black Death.
I'm going to make a comparison here, if I may be so bold, but when a dog does not respect you, you kick that dog in the head. An analogy to what we're seeing in the ring.
What? When a dog doesn't respect you, you kick that dog in the head? Even speaking like hyperbolically, what?
I don't see any dogs in the ring. I see two very qualified wrestlers.
What is happening tonight? That's the second, hey brother, duck this one. That's happened. That didn't happen. That canvas is alarmingly wrinkly. That's how people tear knees and roll ankles. That loose, wrinkly canvas. That canvas looks like an unmade bed. That canvas needs to be put in the dryer before you leave for court, because you don't want the judge to see you looking all disheveled. Awesome Eric looks like he's worn a wrinkly shirt to court before. I just realized that Awesome Eric looks like early 90s Diamond Dallas Page. He could be, he can't be Diamond Dallas Page, but he could be cubic zirconium Dallas Page. Awesome Eric is cubic zirconium Dallas Page. He can't give himself a self high five, but he could get like a self high 3.5.
Shane Cortez, Predator's in. There he's got that cane. Eric Awesome goes.
Why is Doug McCoy calling for the bell?
I think it's got something to do with that rattan cane being in the ring. Predator and Eric Awesome are in there now going to work on Shane.
I hate it. So we just suffered through 20 minutes of just like a very boring encounter between these guys, and they just give up. Kubrick Zirconium Dallas Page just grabs from Singapore Predator's cane and just gets DQ'd for no reason from Singapore Predator, who I have decided is terrifying. He's secretly in the ring. I mean, I've seen him just whip out all these holds on these guys and these moves and pick people up for real and twist them around. So from Singapore Predator holding a Singapore cane, which is great because the commentators call it a rattan cane, like it's lawn furniture or like patio deck chairs. The security guy, I love it. I love the sense of urgency we get from the security guys. Like one of which is the guy in the red shirt we've seen before working security as guys come to the ring, but the other guy is just like his brother-in-law. He's like, "Come on, man, I don't want to get in there by myself. You gotta come in."
The match. Eric Awesome has been disqualified. Shane Cortez wins by DQ.
Now, I want to tell you,
it's been a long time since I've seen less effort given in a pro wrestling segment.
the Prince of Professional Wrestling, Devlin Blanchard here. And sir, Eric Awesome, I want to be the first to welcome you to the World Wrestling Empire. I've been a fan, and you are here, I know, to add some class to this ring and to take care of some business. What you got in mind, my friend?
It's good to see somebody with some class. Come down here, the WWE. Flamin' Raymond is my manager.
You look like you signed up to coach your stepson's little league team, but you only signed up because you thought maybe he wasn't going to make the team anyway, and then you wouldn't have to actually do it. But the little shit did make the team, and now you have to actually go. So you just get a little buzzed before the game. Why does he look like he's in pain? like speaking for cubic zirconium. Am I saying it right? Cubic zirconia? Zirconium? Who cares? Cubic zirconia. Zirconium. Cubics. Now I'm questioning everything.
Eric Awesome, whether you like him or not, get used to him because he's here and he's here to stay and to take care of some business. This is your prince, Devlin Blanchard. Too sexy.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the World Wrestling Empire.
We have Silverado gracing us with his presence for no reason at all. Once again, the crown is still sitting there, so we know this is the same night. Same cup is there, same crown is there. Devlin Blanchard just disappears, and this is not the first episode just for no reason. In like the 5th segment, we've just had a change at the commentary desk that's never addressed. Again, if I had my druthers, if I had my third genie wish, it would be that Devlin Blanchard is missing from this segment due to some diarrhea-related incident. And that's just me. Maybe that says more about me than it does about Devlin, but I like to imagine that. I like to imagine that's why he's not here, because he's got the big old poopies.
From parts unknown, Leopard Man.
This guy is great.
Leopard Man, a longtime favorite of mine. The layers on this guy's got more layers than Bean Dip. Leopard Man is the onion of professional wrestling because of all these layers and because of how he most likely smells. We've got the leopard panty mask. We've got the yellow singlet over top of the black t-shirt with the tights underneath and then the tights on top. It's just so many. This guy, you've never seen someone more protected from accidental nudity than Leopard Man.
From Hoisington, Kansas, Lightning Lenny.
Oh no. Who is this clown? Looks like a JT Rocker wannabe.
So we know Silverado's back. His brother's just straight shooting. He just immediately talks about listen, you can even hear it in my voice. The energy is that Silverado injects into the program is unmistakable. It's unreplicable. Immediately Silverado buries Lightning Lenny and says he looks like someone else on the card.
Looks like he got that belt out of a box of Cracker Jacks.
I think Leopard Man sucks, but also I think his leopard outfit is like a dance or like 80s fitness like leotard. I've never seen a singlet cut that deeply, I don't think, and that oddly. So I'm pretty sure this wasn't meant for wrestling. And come to think of it, I think we could say something similar. I just contradicted myself because I said I'd never seen a singlet cut that low and strangely before, but if you look at Lightning Lenny, his is even lower. So like, that can't be for wrestling. It's wide and low. I can't imagine that's for wrestling. These guys have to be like repurposing some like dance and aerobic fitness singlets or something. I just refuse to believe that they went to someone and had them make this. I can't continue my life the way that it has been going with the knowledge that they sought out these looks, that these looks are intentional. I have to believe, in order to wake up every day and look myself in the mirror and leave this house, I have to believe that these are Goodwill singlets or I can't survive.
Oh, Lightning Lenny reverses the whip, sends Leopard Man into the turnbuckles, but Leopard Man's able to get that boot up into the face of Lightning Lenny before...
Lightning Lenny's selling that boot like he's a stunt man falling out of a window on fire.
that elbow, and Lightning Lenny is out in the middle of the ring.
Lightning Lenny's face as he's waiting for that leg drop is fantastic. He's like, he knows that whatever's coming is not going to be great. There's no trust in that face. It's just like,
And Lenny does have him in the ropes, so a whip. And
yeah, same deal. Like Lightning Lenny's waiting for that clothesline, like holding his breath. Like he might as well have like a blindfold and a cigarette on. Like, oh man. Lightning Lenny did not get into this business to feel any sort of pain whatsoever. We know that for sure. Lightning Lenny looks like he would invite you onto his dad's boat. Like he doesn't have a boat, but dad does.
pay the price and be in the Empire.
Oh, Lightning Lenny reverses the whip. Nice move by Leopard Man.
Yeah, listen, basic stuff's big. If you don't learn how to do basic stuff, it can be hard. There's a little clunkiness on that leapfrog. It's kind of like a little too quick, trying to get under a little too fast. Lightning Man needs to slow it down a little bit. Slow it down a little bit, dude. Get down to Leopard Man's pace, because you're just burying him by running things at half speed. You need to go down to about 25% for Leopard Man if you want this to look believable.
Can I get a waffle? Can I please get a waffle?
Get him back in the ring. No.
Body slams him down there on that concrete floor.
A body slam on the concrete for this match. That's it. Okay.
Okay, Wrestling Police here. We got a call down to Brick Street Studios in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We got a call about one Lightning Lenny taking improper liberties with one Leopard Man, Skinny Leopard, Treacherous Leopard. The report's unclear, but we're going to need both of you guys to step back, put your hands on your head, keep them where we can see them, take any gimmicks out of your tights. We need you to remove any wrist tape. We need you to take off at least one or two of these singlets on Leopard Man so we can get a good search on you guys. We got a K5110 happening down here on Brick Street Studios, which is an unnecessary body slam on the concrete. As you know, we take this allegation very seriously. This match is what we in legal terms will call the drizzling shits. And if you think that a body slam on the concrete on the outside is going to create any kind of drama or make up for the fact that this thing hasn't made sense from the very beginning, you're incorrect. We're going to have to take you downtown. We're going to have to book you both. It's going to be up to the judge, but the general sentence for something like this is you're only allowed to wear one singlet for the next 6 to 8 months. I don't make the rules. I just enforce them.
I don't feel bad for calling the Wrestling Police, because what was the point of that very real body slam on the very real concrete floor, which makes me nervous. We should have like a foam on the outside to keep these guys protected from themselves, and the posts should have like foam sprayed on them, just like a Nerf arena is what I would feel most comfortable with these guys. So body slam on the floor, guy sells around the empty warehouse for a minute and then just rolls back in the ring. Like what we do that for? They deserve it. They deserve it. They deserve every day of their sentence. Because what would you do? All right. You've been wrestling for like 17, 18 hours at this point. I've lost track. You get slammed on the concrete for real and you casually roll back in. What else would you do but circle and lock up and start it all over again? I hate this. I hate Leopard Man. I hate Lightning Lenny. I hate the whole thing. This is just a bad moment. I know I'm lashing out right now in anger. But I have regrets.
Lightning Lenny doing a good job of trying to keep his senses about him.
Yeah, there you go, yeah.
Listen, Leopard Man, you have no business doing that kind of stuff. Just stop it. Don't make me call Wrestling Police on you. You're lucky that worked out. It was it wasn't good, but it was like it wasn't as dangerous as it probably should have been. But if you'd if you jumped up and slipped off that rope or not successfully done that weird little bad crossbody, we'd be dealing with the Wrestling Police again. You're pushing it.
And Lightning Lenny is out on the mat. Styling and profiling Leopard Man.
Silverado, do I have to call the gimmick infringement police on you? Yes, you're on thin ice.
2 big chops. And a whip into the other turnbuckle. A big splash. Leopard Man is in trouble. And Lightning Lenny picks up the big man and a body slam. Up to the second rope. He's going to the top. Oh, flying leg drop. And the cover. 1, 2, 3.
And the WWE Directory Staff Executive Officers are Michael Hunt and Richard Head.
The hour's length of this episode has gone by, and I don't think that we built, changed, or accomplished anything. Now that's what I call wrestling.
Want to say
Good night, Kayla.